So the goal here is to give you guys a look at what the grounds look like now that winter is done. The last of the snow is gone, almost all gone. There's just a tiny little patch left. And I've done significant work back here. This is looking at the grounds of Satoshi Manor, which were completely overgrown and filled with mosquitoes and actually just pretty terrible when I arrived. You can see there's still a lot of work to do, but, it's so great to see this progress. And maybe at the end of this, I can either show some videos, or you can go back and watch the first video or the second video, and you'll see how things were. I built this dam, last fall, and unfortunately, I've had some issues with it, so I may have to rebuild it, but it held up over the winter, which is great. But now the spout that I put in it the water's not quite reaching the spout. Instead, it's leaking out over on the side there. So I may have to undo it and redo it. I tried yesterday and it was unsuccessful. And this is just a bicycle tire that I found, and I put on a couple forked branches, sort of like a Buddhist wheel, right? You spin it, because you may have saw we walked through a torai to get into the grounds from the back side. And, there's water running through it. It has all of the natural features that you would expect in a Japanese garden, just slowly coming to life. And also in a sacred space, which it is, and I've tried really hard to use all the things that I found here, things that were buried, things that were, came down in rock slide. This is my own tiny version of Stonehenge, also another sacred space. And at night, all of this lights up because I have lights back here, the solar lights that I've put in, that light up at night and really make it spectacular as well. And that will just improve over time. Right now it's nice because there's no mosquitoes. I'm trying some experimental mosquito control, and we'll see how that goes. The mosquito control basically involves buckets and emptying them and catching the mosquito larvae. These are some flowers that I transplanted over to this section, and I'm so happy that they've survived and are thriving. Because underneath there's a lot of ground that I dug up, that cart. Of course, you guys have seen that. And then this was the first gate that I built, which has also survived through the winter. And, of course, we do that whenever we walk in or out of the garden. And most of the time, unless my hands are full. Over there is the spring well. And this is a stone path that went across some mud, a small bench that I've built. I did put that stone path in there. It's nothing special. It's just flat rocks laid out in a nice way. These are the barrels that were up in that area where the cave was. And there, Mr. Roboto and his dog. I don't know what his dog's name is yet, but we'll come up with something. Now, unfortunately, in the act of clearing stuff out, a lot of stuff got into the drain. But what's nice is it backed up and it's created almost a waterfall sounding effect. So when I'm sitting inside the house in my little meditation space, which you guys will see in a little while, what's cool is I can just hear the sound of that water flowing. And this is actually a river that flows. There's beautiful waterfall and creek, but they put it all into a concrete area. That's the last of the snow right there. It's May 7th today, and that's all the snow that's left here at Satoshi Manor. So walking around to the front, this is the small garden area that I had some conflict with the neighbor about last year, and it looks like they're leaving it to me this year, which is great. I'll plant some flowers and put it in there, so it's nice. But I wanted to give them the chance to do it. These are some small, baby's breath and some other flowers and plants that I've got growing where it's still a little warm in my atrium there. I call it an atrium. This is my junk storage shed. We don't need to focus on that too much. I still need to figure out what to do with all that junk. The house was loaded with stuff when I got here, and most of it had to be junked, and I got rid of most of it. What's left that needs to be junked is in the shed. And I built that little shelter for the tomatoes and the corn, and that will, hopefully be a good thing to protect when the crows want to go for it, because the crows are going to be an issue with the garden. I know that for a fact. And of course, the well, you saw the spring well, and then here's the original spring, which, and some things that I dug up in the yard, like an old cast iron pot, has a hole in it, and an old sewing machine. And, I've done my best to make this all sort of feel like a sacred space, because that's what an outdoor space should feel like. But let's go inside and see that, because that's more of an artistic space. And this is my back shed. It's loaded with stuff that I was able to salvage and save. And then this is what I call the mud room, where, come in from the garden or in from the snow, and, you can take off your boots and change. And conveniently, right next to it is the bathroom, the room that has a bathtub in it. We'll see that in a couple of minutes. But this is on the back side of those kitchen doors that, you guys have seen, that look like a Tokyo subway. This is all the stuff that I saved out of the house. You've seen that stuff before in other videos. It was like the artistic things that I thought were kind of cool, and some things that were like personal of the former residents, like eyeglasses and a camera and a roll of film that I actually want to get developed and see what's on it. That's one project I need to do. This is what I call my office, and office and library, and that's exactly what this is going to be. So this is just going to be where I keep my books and where I do my work. And in the morning it's nice because the sun doesn't shine in that window, so that makes a pretty nice place. My bedroom here, we don't need to focus too much on my bedroom, but it's a pretty nice bedroom. Hi. And moving around the house, or around the bedroom, that other door opens up. And of course, this door opens up and leads to this closet. This is just a very big closet upstairs. And it was loaded with stuff also. Now it's empty. You can't really see it because it's so dark. But it's a big space. I'm going to turn it into a hangout space, or maybe something else somewhere along the line. And, this is my normal route when I wake up in the morning. Get up, carefully go down the stairs slowly like a cloud. And watch out because there's no railing. But then I don't usually go in here. This is the laundry room, sort of this utility room. And then here's the bathtub room and shower. And like all Japanese houses, the bathtub and shower, well, like most Japanese houses, the bathtub and shower do not have a sink in it and do not have a toilet in it as well. Which is kind of weird from an American standpoint, but I've gotten used to it. Okay, here's the kitchen. You guys have seen this. It's where I wrote my neurotic writing all over the cabinets and started to write about Baoism, and also, indignified manifesto on the doors of the subway doors, I guess I can say. My refrigerator, which is another artistic work in progress, and the living room. This is where I hang out most of the time, in particular in the winter. It's not a great place for me to work all the time because the sun shines right in it in the morning, which is when I like to work. But you guys have seen enough of that room probably. Let's go in here. This is the guest bedroom. I suppose this will be my daughter's bedroom when she's here this summer. It's a nice room. It's okay. It's better when you can have it aerated, though, because the tatami mats have a little bit of a smell to them that I'm not crazy about, but I don't want to buy new tatami mats yet. This is the meditation alcove right there. And you saw the statue of the Buddha, which I've carried with me from Oregon to Hawaii and now to Japan, which is kind of cool. And the Gohonzon, which went from Hawaii around the world. This is the mask room. So this is where I dry laundry, and it's the other tatami mat room. This may be the guest room over the summer. But these are my masks. And some of them were gifts and some of them were things that I found along the way. And then we'll step over here. So there's something kind of special that I want to show you guys, and it's sort of unexpected, and that is my toilet room. Because the toilet room, to me, is kind of cool. This is paper money that I've gotten at different places that I've been around the world. The toilet is, yes, you got that right. That's what the toilet is. And this is coin money that I've gotten from Japan and other places. So these are coins. They're not particularly valuable coins. They're like, 1 yen coins and 1 sen coins from Morocco, things like that. But kind of cool. So that's the interior of the house, you guys. And we step over here to the front door, which is not where we came in. We came in the back. And we're right back to that atrium where you saw my plants. And you can kind of see the neighbors and the neighborhood and what's going on there. Thanks for doing this tour of Satoshi Manor with me.